Alright, what's going on, guys? People have been wanting me to post a video walkthrough of my Crescent Kayak Shoalie with the new Power Pole Pro Series 2 blades on it. I've got the 4-footers. And before I walk you through this, I do just want to reiterate that this is not for everyone. You know, it's something that I'm blessed to do this for a living. So I've got 3 of the exact same kayak. You know, the Crescent Kayak Shoalie. One of them is stripped down with nothing on it for dropping off of rivers, bridges, and creeks, and backwaters, and dragging it to places that have difficult access. The other one has a torpedo mount on it without the power poles, and then this one obviously has them on here as well. I see a lot of comments, well, not a lot, but some people, this is common on a lot of kayak fishing posts out there. You know, when there's a lot of rigging going on, people will say, well, you should have just got a bass boat, or might as well just bought a bass boat. But I'm going to quickly just address that. You know, one thing, obviously I'm fishing tournaments, and bass boats aren't allowed in kayak fishing tournaments. So, okay, so buy a bass boat, that comment, you know, it's irrelevant for us. 2, a lot of the same tools that are effective on a bass boat and that are invented for a bass boat were invented for a reason, for you to be able to do certain things, and they apply to kayaks. So why would you not have them? And then 3, the final thing is, I can still get pretty much everywhere that I want to get with this. You know, it adds a little bit of weight for sure that a bass boat can't get. So it still accomplishes my goal as a kayak angler to get into a bunch of wild places, backwaters and shallow water where boats can't get, and narrow, tight places that they can't fit. Those power poles even clear underneath a lot of really low bridges, like I said. So I'm still getting to where the bass boats can't get. So why don't you buy a bass boat still doesn't make sense. That's not a comment that works for this, because this is way different. It gets me to fish that a bass boat cannot get to, which is the whole reason I got into kayak fishing to begin with. So I even put it in the back of the truck. I don't even have a trailer for it. Just put it in the back of the truck. It's easily doable. So again, why don't you just buy a bass boat? Well, now I need a trailer. Now it's gonna get worse gas mileage, and it's just on and on and on. It's not even close to a bass boat. So although I get what you're saying, they're kind of a dumb comment. The other thing I want to say is I wanted to go ahead and install this on my kayak I used all year long. So it's, you know, beat up, it's dirty, it's real, it's raw. This is how I fish, right? I don't care about looking pretty. I care about catching fish and being efficient and effective. So I apologize for the state of it, but I wanted to rig it on this one first before I actually take all this off and put it on my other one as well, my newer one. So yeah, so let's get to it. So here we go. As you can see, I got the 4-footers and Pro Series 2 blades. We had a special bracket made from Yak Gadget, from John over there at Yak Gadget, and actually had to do a little bit of a chisel out right there, but he's going to make an adapter where it all works perfect. We actually originally, if you look at my video, we had it flipped around the opposite way, where these were right on the, you know, completely on the back on the transom here, like a transom mount. But since we could turn them in, it put more of the weight over the kayak, so we did that, and they don't stick out as far either, so they're not hanging off the back much. So worked out really good. Thanks to all the guys at the Airbnb for the Bassmaster Kayak Series for helping me with this. And then right here, you'll notice we actually didn't put all of the bolts and screw holes in. Again, I'm not saying this is recommended by Power Pole, but what we noticed, we needed somewhere to run the torpedo lines, and the hole right here worked out perfectly. So you can see it kind of runs, your steering line runs there, runs right through there. The reason we did that, guys, is we also noticed when we hit the power down button that there's a lot of flex that happens right here with this starboard material, and that's better than your kayak flexing, right? So we decided to keep it with 2 instead of putting even the 3rd one in there. And I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not, but it actually was nice. I'll show you what I mean. I got the button right here on the side of the torpedo throttle, and of course you also have a lanyard one on my life jacket. But basically you just double tap down, and as you know, with power poles, they go down and they anchor you in, of course. And then I'll show that flex. I'll do it again a couple times. Goes up, boom, and then down. Watch this flex here. See, it's quite a bit of flex, and I want it to happen on that starboard before it happens on the kayak. So that's why we left them like that. So I think it was a good choice. You also notice that we actually drilled a hole in the center of the rear hatch here, and that's how we ran those hydraulic lines through, and then fished them through, obviously, to get to that front hatch. And you can still open and, you know, open this hatch and take it off if you need to, since the hole's in the middle. And of course I got my Yak Attack black pack there, tack on there, my GoPro pole mount. Got my Plano bag there with other soft plastics, and one, usually I can pair everything down to one Plano box here. Torpedo battery goes here. I usually put extras either up front in this cubby or in the front hatch. I can still Actually, we throw these rods off and I'll show you where I put the hydraulic pumps. We ran them through internally through the Shoalie here. And you can see nothing is perfect yet. We don't have it all dialed. I literally got these shipped during a tournament. So as you can imagine, it was pretty busy pre-fishing. So anyway, spilled a little bit of hydraulic fluid in there when they popped out once. Learned a lot. So if you guys have questions, hit me up. But basically this all still fits down in there. Again, it's gonna look a lot prettier and can be better now that I've done it once, you know, and I've put it on the other kayak. It'll run off this one little 9 amp hour battery I got here, but if I have a spare here, these only weigh a couple pounds, so I have a spare in case it actually needs it. But these lines, just so you know, they are a bit stiff. They are pretty stiff, so you actually want to, you know, not cut them short, but use all the excess to wrap them around in order for them to be able to tuck in here. Again, this will get prettier and cleaner on the next install, but if you're doing it now, that's just one little tip of those lines. They're pretty stiff, but they want to come bending in straight up and down right here into their ports here, so for the pump. And the hatch still closes just fine, just barely closes. Stick this in there and she still closes just fine. Just a little side note for those people that do have a Shoalie like me, I actually moved my seat forward. I get the high seat from Crescent and move it forward, and had John from Yak Gadget make a couple little plates here that hold it in position further forward. I want more of my weight forward because obviously with the power poles on there and the Torqeedo batteries and whatnot, the Torqeedo motor itself, you want as much weight forward as possible. So it's pretty easy. I just got this high seat, and because I always want to sit high, and then those little adapter pieces right there. So piece of cake, no worries. And like I said, you've got your lanyard remote too you could use, you know, just double tap, it goes down. And then I also still can run a, you know, rod backwards or a couple backwards if I want, because I like to keep things low so I can clear stuff, go under bridges, limbs, you know, low bridges, limbs, perfect fit, you know, logs, stuff like that that are down, lay downs. So I can still have that there, and it doesn't even impede with, as long as you get to the right distance, doesn't impede with the power pole. So that's pretty much the setup. I think that's it. Oh, but last thing I want to mention, this is the tool bag. It's very important. You want every bolt and nut that, you know, in fitting, proper size. I even have a little cordless drill in there. All my tools for my Torqeedo and the power pole, just in case I ever need it on the water, is right in there. So all in all, it was a great setup. I enjoyed using it. I'm going to dial it in a little bit more, but it helped me get 16th out of 194 anglers at the Bassmaster Kayak Series in Shreveport, the final one for the season, and in the year in 6th place in AOI. So can't complain. You know, fortunate to win in 2022 AOI, and then 4th last year, and now 6th, another top 10. So super blessed and blessed to have a setup like this that really helped me, you know, and it's going to continue to get dialed in. Last thing I'll mention, I forgot, I don't think I've said it yet, is they cost $14.99 a piece. You don't need two, obviously. You could just do one. They weigh 13 pounds a piece, so they don't really add on too much weight. The pumps are a few pounds, maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds, something like that. And then the batteries were just a couple pounds a piece, so the whole thing might add on 35 pounds of weight. And for that Shoalie, for example, it's not even that big of a kayak. It's a 450 pound weight capacity. So you clearly, when you add on just an additional, you know, 35, 40 pounds, it's not going to do a whole lot to it. And I love to travel light, as you can see, just that one Yak Attack black pack, you know, one Plano bag with some Z-Man plastics in it, and I'm pretty much good to go. So I don't have a ton of heavy stuff on there anyway. And yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed it and you learned something from it. And if you want to do it yourself, then obviously go hit up PowerPole and get you some. I think it's cool, and I'm enjoying it. So thanks for watching.
Done with it.